season, didn't get a chance to play. Is it a bit frustrating the fact that he hasn't been able to get past this injury?
Well, you can't put your personal feelings in it. If I got personal about everything, I couldn't coach. I got to do what's best for the team, and sometimes you have to think about the player and their future and how they feel. I'm not a doctor. All I can do is go off of the information I'm given, and I have to listen to players. As a coach, you'd like to have a full roster out there on the floor, especially playing against the Spurs, but we don't have it. So we've been a no excuses, no explanation team since I've been here. We're not going to start now. The guys who get to play tonight, I'm going to be just as demanding of them as I would of Eric if he was playing.
I guess the easy follow-up is if there isn't any kind of structural damage or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, have you had any kind of heart-to-heart with Eric, like, hey, is it just pain, or why can't you get out there and play?
You don't do that as a coach. The last thing you want your player to think of you is that you're trying to put him in harm's way. My history doesn't bode well in that situation. I probably ran myself into the ground because I didn't listen to people in my family and my little crew I have that told me I should have sat out. And I didn't. I cost myself maybe 4 or 5 years of my career. So I'm not one to tell somebody to go out there and play if they don't feel right.
As an organization, when do you start to panic about the situation? Is there any panic involved with the situation?
With that moving forward, the fact that you're going to have Austin out there, obviously Davis starting for the first time.
Yeah.
They asked you that question, but we didn't get a chance to hear it. But what's your feeling with that?
I wish today was about that. There's some excitement with those two starting out for the first time. Redesigned team, a lot of prospects for the future. I understand all the talk about Eric, but at the same time, Austin, Anthony, Darius are going to get a chance to play in the NBA game for the first time, and that's something that is going to be pretty cool. And I'm glad to be their coach in their first games. I should say Brian Roberts as well. Brian's going to get his shot as well.
Do you wish this would have been done yesterday?
It doesn't matter how I wish it would have happened. I mean, I wish it never would have happened, but it did. So it's just, I don't know. I mean, this has been the model since I've been here, man. It's always been, you don't want to get a car with 25-inch rims in this organization because you're going to hit a pothole sooner or later, and you got to learn how to deal with it. So I don't see it as panic. I don't see it as doom and gloom. It's just something you got to deal with. And how you handle these situations can help you later on. I tell the players that all the time. And now I can't shuck and jive when something doesn't go my way. So we're going to go out to win tonight, and that's the bottom line.
You didn't shake your head and think about it again.
Nah, that's not my. I don't believe in that. I think that's for when you're dealing with stuff every day, you can't be like that because it takes your focus off of the progress of the team and the things we have to do. I can complain by myself when I get home in my backyard. My wife doesn't want to hear it. My kids don't know what's going on. My dog's peeing in the corner, so it's not a big deal. So it doesn't matter. Complaining about stuff, it's just not my deal. I think that's just for whomever. I don't know who it's for, but it's not for me.
I think the average age of your roster is 23 years. That's really young, obviously. Have you reached out to any coaching brethren as to looking for some pointers as to how to deal with 23?
Right down the hall.
Yeah, and what was his advice?
Well, I keep that stuff between he and I really close. I don't want to divulge that, but I had some long talks with him this summer, and he gave me some things that I think are helping me. I got to change. I got to grow up on the fly. I'm dealing with high-level, high-intense, high-character guys who happen to play basketball, and I got to be able to let them grow some. Everything's not always going to go my way, hence today. And some days you got to eat it, and that's part of me growing up. It's not always the players. Sometimes it's me, and I found myself in those situations during the preseason where I've made some mistakes with these young guys, and I got to grow up from that right away so that I don't stunt their growth.
So there have been times in the last 4 weeks when you had to catch yourself and say, these guys are only 23, I'm asking too much.
Oh, I didn't catch myself. I just
You fell in
bit, you know, instead of holding back. But that's part of the process. I got to help these guys as best I can fulfill their potential. And some days I got to eat it, as I said, and let them grow up. Now I'm not going to bend on my absolutes. Playing hard, defending, taking care of the ball. Those are things I'm not going to bend on, but I'm learning some of these guys a lot better, and I got to figure out ways to help them grow. At the same time, try to win games.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.